for other people if they didn't ask for it. That's what I mean by don't pluck other people's fruits. Why is that? It's actually a habit that's rooted in something very positive, but that leads to negative impact if we want to help people grow. So welcome to Lightbulb Moments, and I talk live, irregular, small training session. It's a small topic that I pick from our professional level coaching skills courses that we run for leaders and HR business partners. Always a small tidbit that hopefully makes you think, gives you something to do. Today we'll talk about plucking people's fruits and the habit that at the surface is good, but in the end leads to stalled growth. And that is when we summarize for people. And especially when we summarize for people when they had an aha moment. There is something bad happening here because it feels extremely gratifying to, for example, see someone lean back in a conversation and say, yeah, actually it is that way. And then you weigh in and say, wow, you just realized that you really have to talk to her, isn't it? Right away next week. It sounds like you just realized that. Is that right? And the other person can just look at you and say, yeah, you're correct. And that's where it all falls flat. Nothing worse than this, because now we did all the work for them and we don't give the other person the chance to actually celebrate their own achievement. And that means pluck their own fruit. So plucking their own fruit means that we help people to realize and own and enjoy that moment of realization that they have. And I remember one time in a coaching session, a person that I worked with was really struggling with delegation. He was overwhelmed. And at one point he said, I think I'm realizing I really need to trust my team more. And my first instinct as a coach was to say, yes, exactly. That's it. That's exactly what you realized right now. It's about trust. It's about handing over. No. In that moment, I plucked my client's fruit. They've just noticed something. And I imagine that a bit like a careful, small, fragile bit of a plant. The one thing that I need to do right now as a leader with coaching skills or as a coach is to step back and say, something bubbled to the top there for you. What is it? Or what did you just realize for yourself? And that invites the other person to condense their own thinking, their own learning. And what's typically coming for people is that they sit back and say, yeah, I realized X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I really noticed that it's about my trust, my ownership. And when you see that happen, that's the kind of enjoyment that you want to feel as a coach, that somebody plucks their fruit, that they enjoy and relish that realization, that aha moment. And frankly, that's really what we are living for when we're using coaching skills. It's not about our enjoyment as a coach to summarize, but it's about for them to realize something new. And if you've been watching a few of those sessions here before, you may remember my metaphor of a door, of a wall that has no doors. Often a realization in coaching means that suddenly a door appears on that empty wall, and we suddenly see something which really wasn't there before. We still have to walk through. That's something nobody else can do for us. But it's powerful just to help someone take that moment of realization. So if I have one piece of advice in terms of not plucking people's fruits is to, when you are in a meeting session, in a one-on-one, and somebody near you has an aha moment, don't just, so to summarize, what you take away is that you have to go out there and run that one KPI meeting one more time, but this time with different items, isn't it? No. In that moment, catch yourself, don't summarize for the other person. And instead say, how would you summarize your own learning then? Or what's your conclusion? If they miss something, if you have to correct something, you can still do that. But the key thing is that we invite the other person to first summarize. And the reason is this: summarizing in that moment is not just rehashing, it's a generative act. It creates something new. It creates something new. That's why I really recommend at the end of a coaching conversation, even when you are in a one-on-one with somebody, you ask, what did you take away from this conversation? It's super simple. It's not simply something that is a rehash, but it's often just something that's generating. People often lean back and say, yeah, what did I take away? I think it's one thing. And what they say next is something likely new and exciting, or something refined, something which has a bit more clarity than before. So don't go out there and pluck people's fruits, because you're almost stealing their insights from them when you do that. Hold your horses, sit back a little bit and invite them to summarize and ask them, hey, what did you take away? What's your thinking? And I challenge you, wherever you are, to be just a bit more mindful. And when somebody has an aha moment in front of you, they realize something, instead of summarizing for them, ask them what they realized. It's a powerful moment in any conversation, and it makes you instantly a lot more coach-like in your environment, and you become more of somebody who wants to help others grow. Because as my partner Abhijit always says, improvement comes from learning, which comes from reflection. And we only get a chance to reflect when we are thinking and summarizing ourselves. So that's today's life. That is today's short light bulb moment. Hopefully you had one, and hopefully I didn't steal yours. That's a bit of a sad thing here, being live and sharing in a one-directional way, that I can't actually ask you what you learned from that. But maybe I can do this right now. Maybe you are live and you happen to be here at the very moment that I go live, because I don't announce these sessions. Share with me what your thinking is based on this session. What's your own understanding? How could you help others summarize more instead of taking the summarizing over? Yeah, it's the wrong kind of service sometimes. Hope you like this. Ending a bit earlier here, this is Mike from IntelliCoach, closing on this nice March the 13th. All the best. Bye-bye.